The Council of 40, or the Supreme Court of 40, also known as the Quarantia, was one of the highest constitutional bodies of the ancient Republic of Venice, with both legal and political functions as the Supreme Court. Origins and evolution. It seems that the Quarantia was established in 1179, as part of the constitutional reforms that transformed the monarchy into the communal form. It was established, therefore, as an assembly of 40 electors who were entitled at the time to nominate the Doge. These 40 were elected in the turn by 9 electors who were nominated by the Popular Assembly, Le Consiglio. After completing the primary role as the Doge's nominators, they remained in power alongside the Doge as the judiciary, participating with the Consiglio dei Pregadi in the state government and the legislative functions, which were often delegated to them by the Great Council, in which the 40 were members by law. After the constitutional reform of 1297, which with the Serrata del Maggiore Consiglio changed the state's form into an aristocratic republic, the Quarantia was responsible for the approval and the scrutiny of new appointments to the Grand Council and the Senate, but also, according to Maronini, preparation of draft laws concerning criminal justice and fiscal management. In time, the Quarantia lost its legislative and representative functions to the Council of Senate, and around 1380, after the creation of the College of the Sages, its executive functions were largely taken away as well. The 40 preserved as a result from that time the functions of governing the mint, the preparation of financial and revenue plans to be submitted to the Great Council, and, above all, the supreme judicial function. 40 judges were elected by the Great Council and held office for 1 year. They could be re-elected, and in case of a vacancy could co-opt new judges. The Supreme Court was tripled over time to better meet the judicial needs, creating new Quarantie. 1. In 1441 the original 40 took the name of Criminal Quarantia and a Civil Quarantia was put alongside it. 2. In 1491 the Civil Quarantia became known as the Old Civil Quarantia and was joined by the new Civil Quarantia. 40. Criminal. The Criminal Quarantia had jurisdiction over misdemeanors and felonies and in general over criminal law. The 3 leaders of the 40 sat beside the Doge and Council Minor in the Serenissima Signoria, the supreme representative body of the Republic. The confirmation of the Serenissima Signoria was necessarily to give effect to the death penalty. The functions of prosecutor before this court were assumed by the Avogador de Commune. 40. Old Civil. The Old Civil Quarantia had jurisdiction over issues relating to civil law limited to appeals from Venice, from the Dogado and the Stato d'Armagh. Access to their judgment was subject to prior scrutiny by the Auditore Vecchi al Sentence, who in this case held the role of public prosecutor. 40. New Civil. The New Civil Quarantia had jurisdiction over issues relating to civil law limited to appeals from the Domini di Terra Firma. Access to their judgment was subject to prior scrutiny by the Auditore Nuovi al Sentence and, in matters involving minors, by the Auditore Nuovissimi, who in this case held the role of public prosecutor.